Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. Top in this newscast, the U.S. Attorney's Office called a press conference Monday morning following the arrest of DPNR's Chief of Enforcement, Roberto Tapia. Two others were also arrested Saturday in connection with the case. However, their names have not been released until now. News 2's Erica Bivens is standing by with the latest.
That's right, Sandy. Two individuals arrested Saturday in connection with the alleged drug trafficking case have now been named. According to an affidavit by Jackson Perkey, an FBI special agent, both Steven Torres and Eddie Lopez are accused of conspiracy to possess with intent to distribute cocaine. The affidavit says federal agents received information Friday that Roberto Tapia, Chief of Enforcement for DPNR, was meeting up with unknown individuals from Puerto Rico to pick up money for the purchase of cocaine. At 11 a.m., agents observed Tapia meet a vessel near Sail Rock, about 3 miles from St. Thomas, in a DPNR vessel while in DPNR attire. Tapia received a bag from the other vessel, returned to the DPNR dock, placed the backpack in the DPNR vehicle, and then at 7 p.m. boarded the ferry to St. John with the same backpack, which agents noticed looked fairly empty. Then at 8:30 p.m., Tapia exited the ferry in Red Hook carrying the same backpack, which agents said looked a lot more full than when he left for St. John. Agents then took him into custody, recovering a Glock 40 caliber semi-automatic handgun and 7 kilograms of cocaine. On Saturday, federal agents received information the same individuals were scheduled to meet Tapia near Sail Rock to obtain cocaine. However, Customs and Border Protection agents boarded the vessel, taking Lopez and Torres into custody. The U.S. Attorney's Office held a press conference Monday where U.S. Attorney Ronald Sharp commended the federal and local agents who helped with the investigation. And although he couldn't comment on details, he did have this to say.
The rule of law will be enforced vigorously, and that is, and I mean this, doesn't matter who you are, what position you have, if you abuse the public trust, you will be held fully accountable.
Tapia is being held without bail pending his preliminary examination Tuesday and detention hearing Wednesday. He's accused of conspiracy to possess with intent to distribute cocaine, as well as carrying a firearm and drug trafficking. Now, both Lopez and Torres are scheduled for their hearings Wednesday. All will take place before Magistrate Judge Ruth Miller. Sandy, back to you.
Tapia is on paid administrative leave pending the outcome of criminal charges. DPNR Commissioner Alicia Barnes will be overseeing the Enforcement Division until an acting director can be named. News 2 will keep you updated. Well, as you may remember, back in March of this year, the search for missing 4-year-old Melanie Ferguson came to a successful end as local law enforcement and volunteer search teams of over 60 assisted. On Sunday, those volunteers were honored in a big way. 4-year-old Melanie Ferguson went missing back in March on St. Croix on Bastion Road on the northern side of Grove Place while playing with her 2 small brown dogs. Family members reported seeing her sometime after 9 a.m. that day. The call went out for help and many jumped in to assist. Those volunteers were honored by the Virgin Islands Police Department this past Sunday.
I got every police that was on duty, every police that was off duty. And within 45 minutes, I had Bill Balky and a twin engine plane with 2 officers and National Guard in the air. And then when I came here, up by Choco Place, I saw the masses of people that came out.
A huge search effort went out involving about 100 law enforcement personnel, along with the volunteers. The man who first spotted Melanie as she came stumbling out of the thick bush the following morning, about 22 hours later, is Renald Phillip.
Just as I am about to enter into my vehicle, I receive a text. Someone saying to me on the text that this child is missing, and the person asking me to forward it as many phones as I can. And just as I pass the entrance to Carambola Golf Course, you pass the Cow Crossing, I see this little child on the side of the road with the 2 dogs, and I'm saying in my mind, who would have a little child like this here all by herself? And so I'm looking for the adult. I said to her, where are you going? She says to me, we are going home, referring to her 2 dogs. Now I need to tell you that the dogs would not allow you to approach the child. Anytime you come within 5 feet, they attack.
National Guard, VIPD, police cadets, Civil Air Patrol, St. Croix Rescue, and several civilians were awarded, and Elena School's Rocketry Club shot off a rocket in Melanie's honor.
This has changed my life forever. I mean, the way that everybody came to look for my little girl was, words can't explain the way I feel. I just feel like that we did a lot as a community, and it was very beautiful that I could see everybody come together like that.
Now, Melanie and her mom and the dogs were all also treated to spa days, courtesy of private businesses. Well, Ivana Udoka High School's music department was at Fullerton College for the 2013 World Strides Heritage Festival in Anaheim, California, representing the Virgin Islands after a long day of performances on Saturday from Ken High Jazz Band, Concert Choir, Jazz Choir, Concert Band, Marching Band, Auxiliary and Percussion Ensemble. They proudly took home the Jazz Silver Award Choir, Silver Awards for Concert, Percussion, Auxiliary, Marching Band, and the High School Heritage Instrumental Sweepstakes Award. Maestro Awards to Sharon Williams and Candice Leonard, an Outstanding High School Heritage Festival Sweepstakes Award, the highest first place. Congrats to the band. Now they return to the Virgin Islands on Wednesday. Fullerton College conducts nearly a dozen weekends of festivals on campus. Governor John P. DeYoung Jr. has proclaimed this week Public Works Week in the territory. In a release issued Sunday, DeYoung thanked the employees of the VI Department of Public Works, stating they are responsible for all aspects of the community's infrastructure, from designing and building systems to maintaining and restoring them. DeYoung says we rely on Public Works to take care of the roads, highways, traffic signals, water management, and numerous other systems. He encourages residents to thank all Public Works employees. Monday's adjustments by Hovenza increased the rack rate, the price of fuel purchased at Hovenza truck loading station on St. Croix for regular gasoline by 4 cents per gallon and 11 cents per gallon for premium. After the adjustments, independent gas station operators in the territory are paying $3.24 per gallon for regular gasoline, $3.67 per gallon for premium, and $3.53 per gallon for diesel fuel when they buy their fuel wholesale at Hovenza. A Good Hope School senior is on his way to West Point. Delegate Donna Christensen presented 17-year-old Jaleel Crystal with the presidential appointment to the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. During a service Sunday at Christopher's Church, he signed his letter of acceptance to West Point at Friedensburg Moravian Church, where both his parents pastor. During the ceremony, Christopher's principal and officers of the National Guard spoke on his behalf. VI Adjutant General Rinaldo Rivera presented him with a coin of excellence. Christopher earned his letter of nomination from the delegate.
This means a lot for me. I really didn't expect it, because when I first applied, I kind of hoped to get in, but I didn't really expect to at all. So when I got the acceptance letter, I was in awe, and then it was like, well, of course, I have to go to West Point. So it means a lot to me. I'm really happy to be here right now.
Congratulations to Jaleel. Well, there could be movement on immigration reform this week in Washington. A Senate committee is expected to approve a bipartisan bill clearing the way for the full Senate to debate the legislation. Danielle Nottingham has the latest from Capitol Hill.
Members of the Senate Judiciary Committee are sitting down at the table to hash out proposed changes to a sweeping immigration reform bill.
What in the bill would enable the states to control their own borders when the federal government doesn't?
If our initial plan, comprehensive plan to make the border safe, does not achieve that, the states play an even larger role.
The amendments could determine whether some committee members support the legislation. They're debating part of the bill that would provide more visas for high-skilled immigrants. Tech companies want fewer restrictions tied to those visas, while labor groups want more. The committee is also considering whether gay Americans can sponsor their foreign-born partners for green cards. The Senate committee has been meeting over the past 2 weeks, but a lot of the negotiating is happening behind closed doors here on Capitol Hill to come up with a final bill that can pass. The legislation aims to secure the borders and create a pathway to citizenship for millions of people here illegally. Republicans opposed to the bill say that sends the wrong message.
If we reward people who break the law, they're unlikely to raise their children to respect it.
But over the weekend, President Obama said he's optimistic Republicans and Democrats will work together to fix a broken system.
If we're able to preserve our identity as a nation of laws and a nation of immigrants, our economy is going to be stronger.
The Senate committee is expected to complete its work this week and send the legislation to the full Senate. Danielle Nottingham, News 2.
Keeping our eye on the economy, J.P. Morgan Chase chairman and CEO Jamie Dimon could lose one of his titles this week, but it may be all for show. Shareholder groups want to strip Dimon of his chairman job and give it to someone outside the bank. Some members of the board of directors could also be ousted. Investors are angry over the bank losing $6 billion. Shareholders will vote on the issue tomorrow. This is the New York Stock Exchange with Scotiabank's Stock Market Watch. The Dow, Nasdaq, S&P all down. The Dow 19, Nasdaq 2, S&P 1. Coming up on News 2, step by step, organizers and participants of St. Croix Relay for Life say they're doing their part to send a message about cancer, remember those who lost their lives, and survivors, as well as raise funds. The weather stayed clear for the American Cancer Society's 12th annual Relay for Life fundraiser on St. Croix. 40 teams and dozens of supporters took to the track this past weekend at St. Croix Educational Complex to help raise money for the fight against cancer. News 2's Erica Parsons has that story.
For almost 24 hours, 40 teams of walkers circled the track at St. Croix Educational Complex for the American Cancer Society's annual Relay for Life fundraiser.
Relay for Life is all about our survivors. So what we do, we get together here to try to raise funds. We get teams, the teams, they pay a sum of money, they get t-shirts, we have different colors, and everybody walk. For some teams it's fun, for some of them it's competitive.
The real competition is between cancer and the battle to end it, which is why everyone walks, including the survivors who took to the field at 6 amid cheers from fellow walkers and supporters. Relay for Life Chair Jaleel Burke has been a volunteer with the American Cancer Society since she first sought help for a relative 10 years ago. She says they hold a luminary ceremony at 9 p.m. to honor the survivors and those who passed on. Organizers say the ceremony is also one of hope, and Saturday the sky came alive with bright spots of hope as dozens of supporters and loved ones released hot air Japanese lanterns into the night sky while their loved ones' names were called.
We light candles for our lost ones from cancer and those who are still fighting the fight, fighting back. We have hope for them, so that's what we do in the luminary ceremony.
These luminaries are purchased by families and friends, and we do that every year in honor of our survivors and those who pass on.
Survivors also testified about their battle as the emotion-filled luminary ceremony came to an end, and during that time, supporters never stopped walking to fight to see the end to cancer. Erica Parsons, News 2.
The Relay for Life was held on St. Croix from 4 p.m. Saturday until noon Sunday. Now don't forget, on St. Thomas, now is the time to register your team for the American Cancer Society's Relay for Life over on St. Thomas to give everyone in the community a chance to help the organization that saves lives and create a world with less cancer and more birthdays. Register your team today or get more information by forming a team. You can call 775-6373 or 775-5373 or by visiting relayforlife.org/St. Thomas VI. Team packets are available at the American Cancer Society's office. Relay for Life takes place from 4 p.m. on Saturday, June 29th until 10 a.m. June 30th at the Charlotte High School track. Meanwhile, Governor John P. DeYoung has signed a proclamation designating May 22nd, 2013 as American Cancer Society Day in the Virgin Islands. The national organization is celebrating 100 years of existence during 2013, and St. Croix chapter is commemorating 25 years of service to the Crucian communities. The St. Thomas chapter was formed 24 years ago. The governor said through the efforts of all chapters and a unified national determination to end cancer through research and treatment, the 5-year survival rate for all cancers has risen to 86%. However, the fight has not yet been won, and the American Cancer Society continues to need the support of all residents. Stick around. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.